Legally distinct from Joe Hill, Stephen King's son, as I always am in Nashville, Tennessee. I do need to make sure people don't refer to me by the wrong name, because that guy, he's got that main author money, and I don't, so I don't want to get mixed up with him.
It is excellent. So have you joined a server, Joe?
I have indeed joined the CosmoQuest server. I am right next to some really loud beacons here. It looks like y'all have a lot going on in this rocket park. I have just gone live on my own Twitch stream as well. And if I wanted to make sure that folks in my Twitch stream knew where to donate, where would I send them?
We do have the donation link. Let's see. What is that link? Can someone post that link in the chat for me, and then I can give it to Joe? We also have in our build itself, we have a QR code that we put up into builds.
Gotcha. I'm not going to be able to copy and paste the QR code easily into my chat, so I will wait for you to get me that actual human-readable URL. But welcome to everybody who's joining on my YouTube and Twitch streams. We are currently co-streaming with the CosmoQuestX Hangout-A-Thon. I've been pronouncing it X. I don't know if it's NATO alphabet X-ray or if it's 10. Am I doing that wrong?
It is just CosmoQuestX.
Outstanding. And y'all are part of the Planetary Sciences Institute, if I understand it correctly, correct?
That is correct. And we're here trying to make money so we can have the money to operate and do our science that we love to do.
Awesome. Yeah, and I understand particularly that y'all are looking to fund certain things that are not covered by grants, specifically healthcare and insurance and things like that for many of your employees, which, as somebody who is self-employed, I know is a nightmare to not have taken care of. So there's a reason I'm here. It's because I believe in the math and the science and the astrophysics and all that stuff that y'all help people learn about. But it's also because I know it's hard to get something off the ground if you can't get people to doctors and things like that too. So I am glad to help in whatever way I can.
And Joe Hills, there we go. Now I can see your normal skin with the big old @ symbol on it.
Yep, and I've got that link. I'm going to post that donation link in both of my Twitch and YouTube chats as well.
Yay, thank you, sir.
Outstanding. Yeah, normally I would, like, when I first go live, I play like 10 minutes of music and like make sure I get all my tweets out and all that stuff. And I know we're a little bit before the hour, so I still haven't like posted that like I'm live on Twitter yet. Is there anything y'all need to do on your end before we really go in all the way?
We are ready on our end.
Okay.
You are standing at last year's build, and I believe you were around for that when we built the solar system, correct?
A little bit, yeah. I saw y'all had Pixel Riffs involved, and he is a outstanding entertainer. I've had the good fortune to work with him before, and I was kind of like, huh, I didn't even know y'all did Minecraft stuff, because I was a fan of y'all's, I forget what the specific name of the event was, and sorry for that, but like there's just so many like different events I go to throughout the year. But you had Dennis E. Taylor, the author of the Bobiverse books, and so I went and paid for that gold ticket to get the behind-the-scenes chat with him, and I got to attend several of the seminars y'all ran. I think I might have heard about you through somebody who known as Gamma Ray Liz. I forget her full actual name as a doctor, which is bad. I'm a bad friend. But Gamma Ray Liz was talking about y'all because she was giving a presentation with you, and I was like, what? Tennessee Taylor's there too. I'm in. I should be. Let me post this link as well to my Discord chat so that they can get that Planetary Institute or Planetary Science Institute.kindful.com/campaign, then a bunch of numbers. That's the one if you want to support the Planetary Science Institute's CosmoQuest mission. Once again, I know people are going to still be coming in. Like, what is your elevator pitch for what CosmoQuest is as a subset of the Planetary Science Institute?
CosmoQuest is most often associated with science communication and bringing science to the general public. We write and perform on Twitch most frequently, and we're broadcast on Now Media in several cities across the country and in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're trying to do is make science accessible for the general public. A more science educated populace is easier to work with.
Well, I mean, I don't know that the goal of creating a better populace is to make it easier to work with, but I do like the idea of educating them about the wonders of the universe. I would hope that in some ways it makes them more restless and difficult to work with, more innovative and bold in their own unique ways. But, I get the general idea.
Better educated people are harder to control with lies.
Yeah. I think we both agree it's a better situation on the whole to have a better educated public, especially about astrophysics, science, math, engineering, and y'all do so much of that. I've been, this is one of those things where like I've occasionally rated y'all's like afternoon streams when I'm streaming, but I don't do too much with you in general. I was very pleased that you actually reached out to me about doing this Minecraft event together. Because, like I said, I saw y'all doing this with Pixel Riffs last year, and I was like, how do I get into that? And then I never really followed up until like 2 days before your event, and then you invited me anyway, so thank you. This is a pleasant surprise.
And we're very happy to have you. It's just, I've watched you, I've watched Hermitcraft. I must admit, I'm a more later Hermitcraft fan. I didn't start watching until season 6, and some of the most entertaining episodes is watching you and Zombie Cleo interact.
Zombie Cleo is one of my favorite non-living humans. Fantastic person and a fantastic collaborator. Okay, so it looks like we're starting to get to the hour now. I didn't want to get too much into the meat and the potatoes because, like, usually this is when people like start showing up. But I think we're probably about
people
ready
trickle
to go.
slowly into our channels. Well, and now that the schedule says it's 9 o'clock, Central Daylight Time.
Yeah, and like I said, I normally stream at like 9 o'clock every night, and so this is when people know to start looking for me. And so this is when we can get the most bang for our buck. And that bang in particular, you from what I understood, it was making sure that your employees had healthcare. But what else is that money going to?
That money also goes to supporting server costs and hosting costs. It also goes to ensuring that we have the equipment we need to do our jobs. We had the issue of a microphone that's been needing replaced finally go down on us tonight, and we had to quick find a backup mic in a box and get it hooked up. But by having the funds to make sure that our equipment is top notch and running before it breaks is always something that's much better appreciated.
Oh, absolutely. And like, if you're running a business, you really always need to have two of something that is a mission critical. Well, I shouldn't be talking to the NASA experts about what's mission critical, but like, yeah, if you only have one of something, you already have a crisis. You just don't realize it yet.
That's correct. And I work in manufacturing. My day job is in manufacturing. I'm an engineer, and I'll tell you right now, rule number 1 of manufacturing is plan maintenance and downtime and have critical spares on hand. Otherwise, your equipment will plan your downtime for you.
Oh, yeah.
And not when you want it to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I worked in a very poorly run styrofoam factory for a while, and we had a lot of unplanned downtime because of a lack of planned maintenance. So I know firsthand that happens. So I'm going to go ahead and post on Twitter now that we are at the hour. I'm live with... How do you like to be referred to on Twitter, Tanya or Ms. Neon Kitten?
I'm Miss Brick Kitten, Miss Neon Kitten. Tanya is okay, and we can just... Either one will, and Pamela's mic is hot.
Okay. Okay, I don't think I... What's your actual Twitter account, though, so I can flag or tag you?
My Twitter account is Neon Kitten.
With Neon Kitten. Okay, cool.
And my Twitch, if and when I do Twitch, I typically will Twitch a Lego stream or a build. I Twitch at Miss Brick Kitten, MSBRIK Kitten, and that's also my YouTube and Instagram. And I'm most active on Instagram because, as you well know, making videos is almost a full-time job in and of itself.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it is basically my full-time job at this point. So I'm live with Neon Kitten on the at CosmoQuestX. What would you call this? The Hangout-A-Thon server?
Hangout-A-Thon. It's our 36-hour Hangout-A-Thon where we science for our supper.
Where I am helping them science for their supper. Okay. Like I said, normally when I start a stream, I have about 10 minutes of music where I'm like writing tweets and stuff in the background without all this talking. But yeah, we're doing it live, folks. This is how it really gets done.
We're grinding the meat and pushing it through the sausage maker.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So, I think we are now 100% ready to get started. Somebody says Joe's gonna hang out and play for 36 hours. No, I am a guest. This is a telethon format where they have different guests throughout the evening. I was invited to get a tour from Ms. Neon Kitten here at 9 o'clock, and then I was told to come back at midnight and play again.
Yes. And at that point, it will be casual streaming. We're going to just be in our overnight hours, which are usually some of our slowest hours. But it's just a casual wander around in our pajamas and throw blocks at the ground, hopefully in useful shapes.
Fantastic. I mean, I make a lot of unuseful block ground shapes too, but you know what? It's the thought that counts to some degree, except in, aeronautics, in which case it's the physics that counts.
It's the physics and the engineering that counts in aeronautics, yes.
Mm-hmm. It's the material science that counts. It's like, yeah, you don't want to go with the cheap bolts.
No, you don't want to go with the cheap boats, and you never want to go get on an airplane with square windows.
Alrighty. Well, I am ready to go whenever you are. Thank you so much for bearing with me as we got stuff set up on my end, Ms. Neon Kitten.
My pleasure. All right, so this is last year's build, and this is what we did. We did a solar system build last year where we built to the scale in an empty n dimension of Jupiter equals 1 and all the scales from there. So Jupiter was 256 blocks in height and diameter, and then everything else was scaled off of that. But that's not why we're here today. Today we're here because we're playing with the rocket garden, and because for some reason my server just does not want to reset the spawn point. Everyone is spawning in by the original spawn point. So we've made this handy dandy portal, and if you'll follow me, we'll just back through, and we'll end up at our new welcome center.
Fantastic. Now, is this rocket garden inspired by the one at Huntsville, Alabama's U.S. Space and Rocket Center?
In a way, yes, it is. Kerbal has been doing a lot of work on laying out the paths and everything, and he took a lot of inspiration from that. We're trying to make it less of a linear pathways and more like a flow. Have you played Animal Crossing?
Yes, I have.
So when you build your museum and you start populating the fossil wing of the museum, if you watch the floor, you notice how there's branches where it starts simple and it starts branching off. We're trying to get a similar field for the rocket garden here of the evolutionary tree of rocketry.
Oh, that's interesting. So you start with like a thick line and then you split it into like, I guess you would have like one-time use rockets or reusable rockets or... I'm really interested to see what kind of taxonomy you use to split that up. That's really interesting concept.
It's the idea. We'll see. You're a professional Minecrafter. You do this for a living.
Yeah.
Your opinion counts. I'm just I want to come home after a hard day of work and throw some blocks and just zen out. And that's my level of building. This is the welcome center I built. Okay, it's cute, it's empty because like many Minecrafters, I have no idea how to really do interiors well. I do shells and I do buildings well, but not so much on interiors.
That's fair.
Hopefully, I am unfortunately on a potato of a machine. My normal setup is in Denver, and I am actually in the CosmoQuest studio in Pamela's attic because I was invited, and when Pamela invites you, you
No, that's fair. Yeah, you don't need windows up there. It's, it's an attic.
Yeah,
Fire codes are
right.
very lax.
So we have over here, we have Tycho Brahe's replica of Tycho Brahe's observatory
Mm-hmm.
that allowed us to figure out that orbits of planets are ellipses and not circles, and not circles on circles.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
this
how do you
area,
pronounce this? Is this Saint Yernaberg or Saint Yernaborg? Is that the name of the
I think
observatory?
that's about as good as I'm gonna get. Saint
Or
Jernenborg.
or is that the name of the player that created it?
No, that is the place.
That's the name of the actual observatory. Okay, great.
Yes, and it was buried underground. And if my computer keeps moving with us, we'll
Okay.
be good.
Well, fortunately, my stream is rock solid at 60 frames a second, so you got a few hundred people looking at this in very, very smooth motion.
Excellent. And what we have here is we have a little pedestal,
Mm-hmm.
and there's going to be explanations of how things were used and worked.
St. Jernenberg is the observatory of Tycho Brahe on the island of Hven. From there, Brahe made observations accurate enough for Kepler to determine the orbits of the planets were elliptical and formulate his 3 laws of planetary motion. Very good.
It works.
It does work.
It's education at its finest.
Indeed.
And we do have, over in the distance, we do have our QR codes just hanging in the sky.
And I'll go ahead and post the kindful link again in my chat. If you're like, what is that QR code? So, once again, the Planetary Sciences Institute is raising money right now to cover staffing costs, equipment costs, and more. And last I heard, when I was listening to the stream earlier, you were at around $9,000 so far?
What is our current count? I believe it was 9,600 and something. My producer's grabbing that right now, and she'll flash a whiteboard at me with that number.
Oh, that's a very good number to have, waved generally in your direction. And the overall target for the weekend is
40,000, which is about a fifth of our budget for the year, which is about 200,000 is what we need for a standard operating budget.
Mm-hmm.
And she's writing a number.
And y'all have all sorts of programs while she writes that number. Y'all have all sorts of programs varying from the daily space. You have your
the daily space, the weekly rocket roundup. We're associated with the weekly weekly space hangout.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also, as a part of CosmoQuest, is Astronomy Cast, which is a long-running podcast. That is the first time I came in contact with Pamela.
Outstanding.
And it's fun. And I'm about to have a sign waved at me. Our current total is $9,680.69. And we are also doing Marbles on Stream. For every $1,000 we reach in an hour, we do a drawing for a swag bag. And we're doing that on the CosmoQuestX Twitch channel by using Marbles on Stream. So anyone can play. You don't have to donate to be entered into the drawing. You get in there, you type play when we say we've got a bag to give away, and you might get a cool bag of random astronomy swag and random other assorted stuff that we have from different donors, like little minifigure action figures and stickers, all sorts of fun stuff like that.
Outstanding. Yeah, y'all sent me some stickers too. Last time I was when I got that gold ticket for one of your events. Yeah, I opened the mail one day and I'm like, what is this stuff from CosmoQuest? Oh, space stickers. Yeah, I forgot that was an add-on. I just wanted to see Dennis E. Taylor talk about the Bobaverse books, but this is nice too.
Oh my gosh!
I got a
so
nice little
fun.
thank you card from Pam or Pamela. So, yeah.
It's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've been loving the new blocks in 117 because now we've got a copper dome for our for our observatory.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone has just recently put in this beautiful sundial while I was steering away and probably building Lego space shuttles.
Gotcha. Very cool. Of course, with
Okay,
Minecraft
uh,
Shadows, I don't have the shaders to be able to see the actual time of day in game. I guess it's noon. The sun's directly overhead.
it is noon. We have stopped time here,
Uh huh.
and our new total is $9,731.05.
Ooh. So,
So
yeah, I'm seeing that the website is a little bit lower, but I saw a note that says you are adding in your Patreon and Twitch bits and subs during the stream to the total as well.
exactly. So all of that donation, whether it comes into us in bits, subscriptions, it comes to us from new patrons.
Mm-hmm.
For the CosmoQuestX, we are adding that to our total. And every time we hit 1,000 combined through all of those sources, we do a drawing for a swag bag.
Outstanding.
All right. So you're here to see Minecraft rockets, right?
Yeah, I love rockets. Every time I cross the Tennessee-Alabama state line, the first rest stop has one of the predecessors to the Saturn V rockets, like standing up, like at the rest area off the highway, and it's really cool every time I see it come over the horizon.
I've not been in there that area, but I would definitely stop there every time if I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, the closest I've been was Udvar Hazy Museum, where Discovery now lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through the Smithsonian on the Washington Monument, Washington Mall,
Mm-hmm.
where where they have a replica of like a quarter of the Saturn V, just to
Mm-hmm.
give you a sense of scale. And you stand next to it, and you can you can make a tiny home in one of the engine nacelles.
Oh, absolutely. The last time I was on the Washington Mall was actually on my way to a NASA social event that was hosted at
Hmm.
the museum about the then upcoming solar eclipse that we had a few years back. And I wanted to do a vlog real quick of like, I'm so excited. I'm going to this NASA event and I'm a few minutes early, so I'm just going to talk about my thoughts, right? And there's no one on the mall for some reason right now. So I just ran out into the middle of the field to record this with the Washington Monument in the background, you know, super iconic. It turns out the reason nobody was on the mall at that time, which, you know, seemed optimal to me because I hate having people in the background of my videos who I haven't
Hmm.
like asked, hey, is it okay if you're in this video? You know, I don't want that. That's weird for them, right? So
Oh yeah.
I'm in the middle of this big field, Washington Monument's behind me. I start talking, howdy y'all, I'm excited to talk about this eclipse. I'm gonna go to this NASA presentation. All of a sudden I hear this hissing noise all around me and all the sprinklers turn on and it's like being in the middle of a football field full of water and I'm in like a nice suit because I'm on my way to this NASA presentation at a museum. And so I got there and I'm just like soaking wet on a clear day and I'm just like I had a problem vlogging on my way in.
That's awesome. The first time I was on National Mall
Mm-hmm.
was in January at night, and it was brutally cold. There was no one on the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was brutally cold for the Easterners who live in Washington, D.C.
Sure.
Me, coming from Colorado, I'm like, hey, this is a normal weather. I'm okay with this. And the mall was basically deserted. And it was like I had every monument to myself. It was like walking into Lincoln's Memorial was like walking into a cathedral. It was
Mm-hmm.
just solemn and quiet and everything. The next
Fantastic.
time I was on the mall, um, actually, before I go to the next time, also during that time, I got to see the Korean War Memorial and the Vietnam War Memorial. And the Korean War Memorial, surprisingly, it's just gorgeous. It's just the soldiers walking through the brush, and there was low mist, and it's dark, and they're lit from below. And I have a photo somewhere. I've got to find it, but there's a photo of just that war memorial, and it looks like ghosts walking through the mist.
Oh, that sounds
It's just
gorgeous.
exquisite. It's just exquisite. So basically, here we have just a little bit of instructions for the builds, what's going to come, what to expect, and where to find things.
Mm-hmm. So real simple stuff like Go and come up. Wait. Actually, probably should start this way. Paths should not be direct between paths. Be organic. Wool represents paths between rockets, how they are related. Back before there was Soyuz and Falcon 9, Chinese fireworks. Grandmaster Plan is a bit.ly link, which I'm too lazy to click on. U.S. rockets first, Russian and Chinese rockets if we have time or are lucky. You'll see concrete pads around the area. This is where you'll build the rocket models in the garden. Have fun. And then you have dimensions and pictures of all the rockets. Some rockets already have design palettes. Feel free to change and come up with the rest. Yeah, so I saw that some of y'all on the CosmoQuest team were working on a Saturn V in Lego immediately before this.
Yes, that was me.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm the strange person who does all the Lego when it comes to CosmoQuest, and Pamela handed me her Saturn V that had taken a tumble off of the shelf.
Ouch.
And handed me a box and 2 mugs worth of components and said, please put back together. And it is now back together, but there are a few pieces that are actually missing. So I'm probably going to have to hit one of the secondary sources for Lego parts and get some replacement.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've got that Saturn V over the mantle. I built that with my daughter myself. So yeah.
It's such a beautiful build.
It's gorgeous. Like I'm so glad to have a prominent place to show it,
I just recently moved, and it was in a prominent place at my last place. But my new place, I still have 90% of my Lego displays in boxes.
Well, hopefully you can get that resolved.
I work 40 to 60 hours a week, so we'll see.
One day.
All right. Next stop, early modern rockets.
Woo!
And we've gone with some lighted paths.
That's good. Is this server in peaceful?
This server is in peaceful. The time doesn't progress. It is like the perfect day captured in a moment.
Fantastic. The V2.
These are what the Germans would drop onto London during the Blitz.
Yeah, and many of them.
It is an unfortunate fact of rocketry that rocketry overlaps for both science and the less friendly version of science, which is science warfare.
Indeed. I don't know if you've seen For All Mankind.
I have not seen that yet.
I was very pleased. The show starts off, and Werner von Braun is a prominent character, and he's portrayed very well as a positive figure. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of really letting him off the hook for all the V2 deaths. And it kind of takes a turn, and he is taken to task for that. And I was like, okay, that's fair. Because it's one of those things like, if we ignore this stuff, it makes it harder to move forward rather than easier. So
right. And one of the biggest things is you've got to talk about it, address it, face it, and resolve it. And if you're not willing to acknowledge what happened, if you just try to sweep it under the rug, how do you learn from that, and how do you make your next move to avoid it?
Indeed. If I can briefly just recommend why I think this show is worth watching above and beyond that, though. Like, the premise is, what if instead of the United States kind of trolling the Soviet Union into bankruptcy by spending more and more money on nuclear weapons, the Soviet Union strategy was to try to troll America into bankruptcy by spending more and more money on their space program. And so basically, both the U.S. and the Soviet Union are diverting all the money in actual history that they spent on nuclear weapons on building ludicrous space-like stuff. And it's all, like, possible theoretically with 1960s engineering if you had an insane amount of money. And you know what? We did spend an insane amount of money on nuclear weapons at the time. So, So, like, in terms of alternative history concepts, like, the first episode starts with, like, on June 19th of 1969, the Soviets sniped us by landing on the moon 1 month before we were going to. And then the next month, when we finally when we finally land on the moon on July 20th, 1969, the next day they land a woman on the moon and accuse America of being really sexist. And it just spirals outward from there. So it's a really fun show about like what if everybody just put all their energy into rocketry for 20 years instead of nuclear weapons. And I'm not going to say that it's entirely grounded in fact or whatever, because it is historical fiction, but it's fun historical fiction, you know?
Brinkmanship by one upping the scientific achievements of the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for that. That sounds like, despite the background of why they're doing it, it sounds like a better way to do things than what we have done.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can look back at any point in history, and there's room for improvement. Points at the V2, but anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the first liquid-fueled rockets, if I remember correctly.
So
and
yeah,
let's. One
let's.
of the reasons it was so volatile.
Yeah.
Now, do you want to go down to Russia or do you want to go to the U.S.?
What do you think is more entertaining? Sorry, somebody just said I missed it. What was the name of the show? The name of the show is For All Mankind, and it is on Apple TV Plus.
Russia's a quicker walk.
Okay.
There's not as many. But then we have the copy of the V2, which is the R1 made by the Russians.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically a recolored variant. You know, you get that duplicate in a set of collectibles, and you're like, it's just a recolored variant.
Mm-hmm.
And then they always make one of the recolored variants a chase, and you just got to beat your head against a wall trying to get that one chase recolored variant. Oh wait.
Mm-hmm. So the R7, it says, is one of the most important rockets in history. I'm not prepared to talk about that because I don't know a ton about the Soviet space program. Do you have any inside info on that?
I am not either. The person who I know who has the best about this information is Kerbal, and as he's going through during the weekend, not only are we going to have these signs, but we're going to have podiums with books that he's going to write facts about the different rockets at them.
So fantastic.
When we get to the point where, hey, Kerbal, why is the R7 one of the most important rockets in history? That will be in a podium or in a book on a podium right here.
At least one member of my chat on the diagonal says the R7 family of rockets launched Soyuz. Okay, so that's pretty significant.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't had the time to substantiate that, but, you know, that tracks as, you know, something important that happened.
The Soyuz missions are important. We're still using Soyuzes today to get to and from the space station.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, absolutely important.
Sure. So what's up next?
What's up next? We have another vehicle over here, and this one is the Soyuz 21AB. The click, click, click of Deep Slate.
Yeah. It's a fantastic new block.
It has such a wonderful array of variants, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Now, just out of curiosity, to confirm, these are all built 1-to-1, right? So this feels kind of small almost.
That's the funny thing. Think about a 3-meter circle, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true. Yeah, this is a 2-meter wide tank, and this is a 2-meter wide tank, and this is a 2-meter wide tank. Yeah.
So just like playing with Lego, playing in Minecraft, the scales are off.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is 2 meters, but is it really 2 meters? A doorway is 2 meters in Minecraft, but you scrape your head on the top of the door when you go through it.
Mm-hmm.
So something about the scales are just a little bit off. It's like when I build with Lego and I try to make something minifigure scale,
mm-hmm.
It takes more pieces than not because the scale of the brick and the scale of the minifigure are so different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way with Minecraft is you've got to make decisions, and you probably know this from the current castle build you and Zombie and Clea are working on,
mm-hmm.
is working on that scale with that. It takes a lot of planning.
Well, it takes a lot of planning to do right. We're instead doing a lot of iteration rather than planning. And so I have ripped out and rebuilt several portions of that castle multiple times because I realized that we just didn't do our geometry math right earlier. And yeah. But
I believe you.
in space and aeronautics, you don't have that same luxury of just ripping things down and tearing them up and starting over. You don't want to get something out of orbit and then go, whoops, we need to do that differently, you know?
And yet we have done that in the past. It's like, we launched that and okay, back to the drawing boards, gentlemen. So yes, it does happen. Iteration, test, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get something that works, repeat it.
So I noticed there's only one path coming into this pad here. Is this considered the dead end of Soviet rocketry?
I don't know if it's quite a dead end, but it's where they're presently at and what they're currently launching.
Mm-hmm. So it's currently the terminal. We've reached the present there.
We've reached a present with Soviet missions. Yes.
So if we come back here to the V2 and we start down this American technology rocket path,
mm-hmm.
What are we going to see up ahead?
So we're going to start with, of course, missiles. Oh. And it's the Redstone rocket.
The Redstone Arsenal is, of course, a U.S. Army base in Huntsville, Alabama, where a lot of missile and artillery development and testing is done. It's obviously immediately adjacent to the site of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center and is where a lot of the Saturn V rocket testing and development is done as well.
See, you have some great information to bring to the table.
I've been there multiple times as part of the NASA social program. It's the nearest so awesome. NASA social site. So yeah, I've got quite a few videos of me like messing around in their ISS simulator, or like we actually got to visit the ISS control area, like for the real ISS, because that's down in Huntsville too. Yep. It's a fantastic site. But yeah, Redstone, of course, has a different meaning in Minecraft because, people associate that with wiring.
Yeah, this stuff right here.
But yeah, it's funny because in Huntsville, you drive down the street and it's like, it's the Redstone Credit Union. It's the Redstone Pizzeria. It's the Redstone this, the Redstone that. It's like, wow, they really went all in on Minecraft.
Yeah, and then you're hoping that it was somebody like Doc or Mumble who wired it and not B-dubs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. You're not here for...
I don't want to dunk on B-dubs too hard. He works very, very hard, and he has a family, and, so...
I adore B-dubs. I adore B-dubs.
I do, too.
And some of his recent commercials, I hope he survives some of those recent commercials he built.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here at Navajo Cruise Missile. And this is according to the signed grandfather of all U.S. rockets.
Was it spelled with an H rather than a J? That's interesting.
Google is our friend?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like it was spelled with an H. Yeah, interesting. We do. Because it was named after the Navajo Nation, which spells it with a J. The U.S. has an unfortunate history of naming things after groups that don't want weapons named after them. You can see also the Apache helicopter. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not going to pull a lot of punches on this stream, folks.
No, because we do have that unfortunate history of not necessarily asking people if they want to be venerated, included.
I mean, like if somebody built a pizzeria, right, and they're like, "This is my pizzeria. I really love making pizza." Oh no, I just dropped a. Oh, that's a French press full of coffee. Okay. It was mostly empty of the coffee at this point. So, But anyway, my point is, if somebody wanted to open a pizzeria and build like a mural with my face on it, I'd be like, that's kind of weird. I'd rather you paid me if you're going to use my likeness. But, I'm not going to be like too upset that this guy who loves making pizza also loves Joe Hills. At the same time, if somebody's like, I'm going to build a cruise missile and I'm going to point it at another country and I'm going to paint your face on it, I'm like, okay, that's really like a different level of problem, right?
and
Like,
and yeah,
uh,
and that would be after they put you out of your home and sent you thousands of miles barefoot and with all of your supplies taken, and then they go and named a cruise missile after you.
yeah, it's a long-standing problem here in the United States. Uh, yeah, this is the sort of stuff we could definitely do better. Like we're kind of laughing about it a little bit here, but not because it's funny, but because it's so incredibly deeply uncomfortable. It's hard to process.
And it's extremely embarrassing.
And we're still doing it today, which
Yes.
is yeah. Okay. So,
Anyhow,
what's
okay.
up next? I see the rocket trail here splits several
It
ways.
does split, and it splits in several ways. This one splits over here to the Atlas ICBM, and here we go, another machine of war.
Mm-hmm.
Again, as I said earlier, we have this unfortunate intersection between the usefulness of rocketries to do science and a rocketry to um, inflict damage to whomever we decide we need to do damage to at that time.
It almost seems like it would be helpful to have a year on each of these things. Like, I don't know if that's the year it first launches or the year it enters like full production, but like, you know, when I think
agree.
the Atlas missiles, it's like, okay, well, so where is that in relation to the Saturn V in terms of the time scale and stuff like that, you know?
I see Kerbal wandering in and out of things.
Yes,
Flipping through
like a
everything.
ghost. I can't quite do that.
Hey, Kerbal. Hey, can you edit to sign and put the year that this thing was created on it?
Not anything else. We only need to know the year specifically of the Atlas ICBM. That'll just anchor us.
We're lost in time.
And once again, for anybody just joining us, I am hanging out with Ms. Neon Kitten of the Planetary Sciences Institute's CosmoQuestX initiative.
Thank you, Kerbal.
Which helps teach people about space, engineering, and all sorts of other fun stuff. They are doing a fundraiser trying to raise $40,000 toward staffing expenses like health insurance for their staff, equipment expenses like microphones, servers, and more. And you can donate via that Planetary Institute or planetaryScienceInstitute.kindful.com link that I have posted in the chats.
Very cool. And so we did get the sign added.
Oh, very good. First launch, 1957.
The heat of the Cold War.
Mm-hmm. So we have like we have a wool connector there, but then you've gone back this way, down this path where we have the Thor.
And at this point, this is a woolen. So we are still looking for people to come on and start building with us and keep building with us as the 36 hours progresses. And so we've basically put up wool measuring sticks.
Okay, so somebody who was actually going to build the Thor rocket would know, okay, the top goes here to make sure it's correct in relation to all the other rockets nearby.
In trying to keep the scale the same. And I have a person on behind me.
I'm not actually going out on stream, which I thought I was, but my voice now is. We have crossed the $10,000 in donation marks. This means we are at $10,027.49.
That means we get to do more giveaways. And if you want to get involved in the giveaways, we're going to play marbles on streams for the giveaway, and that's at the CosmoQuestX or Twitch. So twitch.tv/CosmoQuestX, and you can find us there. And I'm sure everyone has played marbles on stream if you're a Twitch viewer. And do an exclamation point play when you get there, and get yourself registered in so that you can have a chance at winning a swag bag full of astronomy and fun science fiction and superhero stuff.
You can donate in 3 different ways. can give on Kindful via bit.ly/CQXhat, all capitalized 21. You can give via patreon.com/CosmoQuestX, or of course, if you're on Twitch, there's bits and subs. And we have, on your request, we are listening. We have added the total from Kindful, where most of you are donating, and where you will get your tax deductible receipt fastest. We have updated our stream to include the total from Kindful at all times. And now I'm going to go prep to do marbles.
So we have about 15 minutes.
In this segment, because we're not going to do Minecraft after this, we're going to run this one. We're going to run marbles, and then we're going to run up until 55 past the hour.
Okay, so we are going, Joe, until 9:55 CDT.
Okay, I can do that.
But that was good news that we had interrupted with.
Indeed.
So, and the other thing is you can also join us for helping to build. So just there's a quick little form that you go and fill out. I've been monitoring the form and adding people to the allowed list so that they can come in and join us. It's peaceful, creative mode, always daylight, and then you can just grab and start using the palette and start building. Woohoo!
Indeed. And I see we got some new viewers on my stream coming in just past the half-hour mark, asking what we're doing. We are doing a charity stream to support CosmoQuestX's initiative as part of the Planetary Science Institute to promote education on math, engineering, astronomy, space stuff in general. Just getting the word out about all the cool stuff that are happening and encouraging people to educate themselves more formally. Because, like, you know, as excited as you could be to read every newsletter that y'all put out, like, you really got to go to school and get a mechanical engineering degree at a certain point to, like, contribute in the way that some of the folks in the space industry are contributing, right? You know?
Oh, yes.
And so it's not just like, if you like space as a hobby like I do, the CosmoQuest folks put out a ton of great resources about all the cool things that are happening in space all the time. I read their stuff. I love it. I don't talk about it too much on stream, but it's a fun diversion for me. But, you know, for up-and-coming youths who are trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives, what they want to go to school for, I mean, this can really help them kind of get on track to pursuing a career, making a difference in the sciences and engineering. So, yeah.
Absolutely, and we try to make it the science as accessible for people as possible, so that they can start taking the nibbles at it and then decide if they want to jump down full bore on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then do things like me and go and get a degree in engineering.
Yeah, my degree is in history, and I always regret not, like, taking an extra 2 years to switch over to material science. But whatever. I'm somehow a self-employed artist, so I'm doing pretty well. You know, I'll take it.
And you write great poetry. And
thank you.
That's one of the things that I always enjoy is and this video brought to you mid-roll ad-free, thanks to so-and-so. And now I shall read you a little poem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just fun.
Well, you know, it's funny because, so, like, as much as I love writing, you know, somebody asked me once when I was in college, like when I was trying to figure out, like, what I wanted to study, they were like, well, if you just had a ludicrous amount of extra money, what kind of business would you want to run? What kind of thing would you want to have a bunch of people working on? And I'm like, you know, when I think about it, it's like electricity is generated by spinning a magnet inside of a copper coil. I would want to just create an institute of spinning things inside of other things really fast and seeing if any of the other ones do something neat. Because who knows? Like, that might be how we get the warp drive. We're going to feel really dumb when it turns out you need just some tungsten and some lead spinning super fast. It's like, oh, we could have been doing that in 1974. But nobody bothered to try that particular combination, you know?
Joe Hill's Institute of Spinning Things Inside of Coils of Other Things to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like, in this scenario, you know, I would be, like, independently wealthy and not, like, accountable for grants like y'all are. So, like, results don't need to be forthcoming immediately. But, yeah.
And that's one of the that's one of the funniest things is you people go, oh, this is the potato of my computer that I keep talking about.
Mhm.
But people go, "Oh, where's the results from that science?" And sometimes the result is failure. And failure is a result. And sometimes failure is a valid result. And that's something people just don't want to acknowledge.
Yeah,
Failure is a valid result.
that's one more thing we don't need to test again.
What's
Although,
that?
yeah, it's like
We need to go to marbles.
are you ready to
Okay,
start your marble game?
we're gonna cut to a marble race to give away a swag bag, and then they're gonna cut back to us, and then we're gonna go until 9:55.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so we're gonna mute and let them go to marbles,
Okay.
and we could stand here and just stare at a blank pad that needs a rocket on.
Well, here's the thing though too, is my stream is still going to be able to hear me, like unless
Excellent.
so they're going to be able to hear you too, even if they can't hear us
Okay.
on your stream. Is that okay?
That's fine. So
We
if
can
you
kind of
mute-
commentate the marble race on my stream, even if we're not going out on the CosmoQuest stream. If anybody wants to play that, I'm gonna.
Joe says he would like to go ahead and comment the marble race too.
No, I was gonna
his stream.
comment it on my stream, not on your stream. I'm watching your stream.
Unshare my screen. Okay, I'm unsharing my screen, so I'm stopping sharing, and now we're gonna run marbles.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have marbles, so we have some time to get people in and get them on this race. So jump in and say exclamation point play. We have 12 of 50 marbles in the race. Where's the rest of our marbles gonna come in? I have a full-size screen view of it here, and I've got the microphone hot on my end, so I can probably comment this really quickly.
I see a lot of folks with names I recognize on the diagonal. I see Chef
Yeah.
Nutmeg. You know, this
Awesome.
could be a very, very interesting race.
Yes. So get in here, CosmoQuest, twitch.tv/CosmoQuestX. Jump into the chat, type exclamation point play, and get your hands on a swag bag of cool astronomy stickers, postcards, and other random stuff. We have 16 of 50 potential marbles. I see Josie Wolf just joined. And are we ready to start the race, or we want to go for a few more moments? We are ready to start, my producer goes. All right, Joe, you're going to announce this race for us?
I'll do my best.
Go for it.
Okay. I see we're counting down here. Seis, cinco, cuatro, son, dos, ichi, zero, go. Go is 5 in Japanese, but we'll say go anyway. Hexacosis icaron. That sounds like a chemistry thing. Seems to be doing pretty well early on. Here we've got Veronica Cure, and on the diagonal, Jory Rocks, but Juniper Willow's pulling into a lead. Mahi Zero on the inside, though. Let's see. Oh, hey, there's me, Joe Hills. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, slowly creeping up on Juniper Willows before being overcome by the giant nothing, known as the Void, like I always am in Nashville, Tennessee. Looks like I'm a little bit off in the side there. Bouncing a little bit off Mahi Zero's. The giant nothing is making all sorts of trouble, trying to sneak in on the inside there. Giant nothing coming back around. We've got quite the pack behind everyone. Now, I don't know, are there interruptions in this, or is it just... Okay, so that's lap 2. How many laps is in this? 3?
How many laps are in this one? 3 laps. So
Okay.
This is a basic one of just a lap around the circuit. It's not like the other ones where people get yoked off of the track.
Gotcha. Okay, so everybody's got a shot at this, but it looks like currently the giant nothing seems to be in the lead. You know, that's appropriate because space is a whole lot of giant nothing. Everything else is also giant, but instead of being nothing, it's exploding and huge, which is great. Chef Nutmeg rolling in with a sharp cut to the outside there, but back to the inside. Kernov Zach also trying to make an approach. Mahi Zero trying to sneak up, but being just dragged back by the rest of the pack. Giant nothing first across the finish line for that third lap. Let's see what happens next.
Looks like we're on the last lap here, folks.
Indeed, Chef Nutmeg attempting to catch up, just not quite able to break through. Wait, what's that? Chef Nutmeg tries to cut to the outside, but it doesn't quite pan out. This is not quite neck and neck. I'm not sure if Chef Nutmeg is going to be able to really draft off the Giant Nothing and pull ahead like the fans, I'm sure, would love.
But if the Giant Nutmeg keeps banging those walls like that, then Chef Nutmeg may find a gap that he needs.
Meanwhile, Captain Kirk 55 out of nowhere takes third, passing several others. Yazzie Wolf in sixth, but boom, it looks like it was indeed the Giant Nothing first across, followed by Chef Nutmeg, Captain Kirk, Kerno, Zach, Yazzie Wolf, Veronica Cure, Mahi Zero, RS Winter 45, Turbo Putt, and Unintelligible.
Yeah, awesome. We have our winner for this round, the Giant Nothing, and they will be getting an amazing swag bag full of goodies that I think we covered what was in that swag bag last hour, but we were unable to give it away because we didn't hit our $1,000 per hour donation goal. However, if we keep getting $1,000 per hour, we'll keep running these and happily give these away. And you really want to get to some of these last bags that we have, especially in the order, because the gifts go up as we go into longer bags.
One thing I want to note real quick, it looks like the Kindful total on your stream is not updating, because I'm seeing on the actual Kindful website, y'all got 9,504 raised there.
$9,504 on Kindful.
Yep, so you're about 350 ahead of what you're showing on the stream there. Thank you to everybody who's showing up and supporting CosmoQuestX during the segment.
Now.
Woo.
I just got a thumbs up that it has been updated. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's go back to our rocket. Let's go back to rockets.
Great. So let's see. Let's move forward past that placeholder rocket. Let's see what we got here. The Thor Delta. This one actually seems to have been constructed. Very simple and elegant, but we get some really cool details over here when we get to the Saturn 1. I know we're jumping a little bit ahead, folks, but like with the amount of time we have left, I want to show the good stuff, right?
The big stuff.
The big stuff
that got us not only into orbit but got us first to the moon in 1969. And a fun fact is that the Saturn V Lego kit, 1,969 pieces.
Indeed, for 1969. Yeah. So the Saturn 1B, I think, might be the one that they have at the rest stop at the Tennessee-Alabama state line on Interstate 60. No. Is it Interstate 65? Yeah, I think it is Interstate 65.
And then if you walk up on the side, now that these are multi-sectional, multi-stage rockets, we've also started putting signs.
Ooh, oh, like to show where the different stages are.
Yeah, so we have the first stage here, separation line. Then we have the second stage. We have the good old US of A marked on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our happy little adapter.
Indeed.
Whatever the adapter is.
And
now we're into clouds.
And I just confirmed via the magic of the internet that yes, the rocket at the Ardmore rest stop on the Tennessee-Alabama state line is indeed a Saturn 1B.
Very cool.
So if y'all like to post selfies or whatever underneath rockets, but you don't want to go all the way to Huntsville, you don't have to get off Interstate 65. You can get a Saturn 1B photo. But, you know, if you did go all the way to Huntsville, well, that's where the real magic is. That's where they've got this one.
Where this monstrosity is. And this one might be completely out of scale, because this is 20 meters in diameter here by Minecraft blocks.
Yeah, I'm like, so the U.S. Space and Rocket Center has one of these hanging from its roof in the museum. And I'm not sure that it's 20 meters tall.
I think you're correct. I don't think it's that wide.
I mean, to show the level of detail, sometimes, let me see if I can find Saturn V diameter. It looks like it's about 10 meters in
Dribble
diameter
states
in real
that
life.
mistakes were made. It's about double the diameter, but it's okay because when you get into a larger scale, so this is a 2x scale, you can get some of the more details into it. And you've made the cones and such in Minecraft, and we wander under here. There's 5 rockets, 5 nacelles under here. And these would be very difficult to create at that smaller scale.
Oh, absolutely.
One Minecraft scale.
Absolutely, because the problem with this is in real life, these rockets might be, or they might have like a 5-inch thick metal cone, right? Like 5-inch thick metal around the cone, right? But in Minecraft, you can't do anything thinner than a meter wide, and so it's very hard to do something that's hollow, but is like 5 inches thick around the edges, right?
Yeah, I mean, a pane of glass might be the right thickness, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the pane of glass is about 1 inch thick, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost too... Like, it's in this weird, like, unfortunate zone between, like, the thinnest things and then the next thinnest things.
Which would probably be the Minecraft walls and such. But...
Yeah.
For some reason, doesn't want to fly. But I've been taking a lot of time on this one, and I've been doing the time on this one as I was rebuilding the Pamela's rocket. So a lot of the details you see here are based off of the Lego Saturn V.
Well, I do a lot of building in Minecraft off of real-life models, actually. I've got a real-life papercraft model of Castle Hohenzollern. I've been building the Minecraft Castle Hohenzollern after. So, I guess I could go and get my Lego Saturn V if I were to work on this and reference that. Although, I guess I don't need the lower stages. I would only have to move the upper stages, which, although, honestly, disconnecting those stages is always terrifying to me. I'm, like, always afraid I'm going to drop the whole thing on the floor.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I do the shows, and I've take my models to shows, and I've dropped it. So I'm very good at putting it back together pretty quickly. So we are almost to our time.
Yeah, I heard 9:55 was our target.
Go ahead. Yep, and we're at 9:54. And as you can see, there's a lot of other rockets that need to be built or are in some state of half built. I'm going to come over here by our QR code over here. Just because I can. And where are you at? Are you still staring at the rockets?
Oh, no, I was going to face the QR code and copying and pasting the URL for the donate link.
Yes, and the QR code works. I did test it myself. I believe this takes us to the bit.ly to the Kindfold. Yay!
Yay! And so thank you to everybody from my streams who showed up and contributed to support CosmoQuest during our segment. I'm going to be back here after midnight doing some building work on this rocket garden, which once again is loosely based on the real rocket garden in Huntsville, Alabama, which I have visited before, and I look forward to visiting again soon once my kid can get vaccinated.
Yay! Yes. Get vaccinated, mask up, stay safe, keep yourself healthy, get through it all together. And Joe, thank you very much for your time tonight. Really appreciate you coming in and wandering around and talking rockets and silliness with me. It's always a blast.
Thank you so much, Ms. Neon Kitten, for having me. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap up my stream here, and I'm going to raid y'all's main Twitch stream, and then I will be broadcasting again at midnight U.S. Central Time, which is about 2 hours from now, and hanging out on your server with your overnight crew.
Excellent. Awesome. We look forward to having you, and we will see you later. And let's pass it back off to the main stage in the main studio to Pamela.
Keep adventuring.
Yay.
Our numbers aren't totaled yet. I'm in awe of what has just happened. We just received 50 gifted donations, 5